Hi, good evening, everyone. So we're here for another podcast, another episode of the Beyond Alpha podcast, and we're still in quarantine. I guess it's the sixth or seventh week of quarantine here in the Philippines. And today we're going to talk about how do you handle criticism or how do you handle
Feedback.
criticism or feedback constructively.
Mm.
Um, so as you all know, uh we've been putting up our business, or we're launching a startup, and obviously you want feedback from other people, right? Especially those closest to you, and at times you're gonna hear some stuff that you don't agree with, and it tends to hurt your feelings or something. So today we're gonna discuss about how do you handle the criticism and feedback from anybody, and most especially your peers. As always, I'm here with my with my co-founder Brian. And hi, Bri.
Ayun. Good evening, everyone. Ayun, napakaganda ng topic for today. As always naman, guys, we, as much as possible, we tackle on topics na in a way na-experience din namin personally, and something na through conversation or through sharing, matututo kami ni JP sa isa't isa, and at the same time, hopefully, yung listeners is may mapipick up ding nuggets of wisdom. So,
By the
yun.
way, guys, sorry, i-insert ko lang to. We chose this topic just to help out all the entrepreneurs there. All the entrepreneurs that are listening to us, if you're going through something and you're second guessing yourself, especially after asking feedback from anybody or from the people close to you, and you're having second thoughts of on what to do. This episode is for that. Again,
Mhm.
sorry, Brian, for disrupting.
Okay lang. Sure. Ayun. Like what JP said, yun, for the entrepreneurs, or you're starting something new, like a podcast, like what we're trying to do here, blog, or a new hobby man yan, whether you're trying to cook. So, yeah, it would be normal na yung closest to you, your friends, your relatives, family, ganyan, they would have a say. And definitely, most of these people that you consider close within your circle of influence and your closest circle, inner circle, you would value their contributions or their thoughts, their feedback, and criticisms sa mga ginagawa mong bago. Like for example, kami ni JP, we're doing this podcast. We're working on this startup, which is yun nga ni BN Alpha, an e-commerce store. So, and recently, and even before parang we started this November 2019, namin ni-launch. Pero way before pa ba, first quarter of 2019, inaasikaso na namin yung prototypes and websites and all. So, from time to time, we were asking for feedback din naman dun sa ginagawa namin. So, personally sa akin, nung umpisa, nung maano ka rin there's a tendency na you're gonna bend in, or to the point na baka scrape off mo yung original plan mo, or totally baguhin mo yung yung plan mo dun sa ginagawa mo. Like for example, yun nga, in our case, e-commerce business. Ganun parang lahat may take, lahat may perspective dun sa gusto mong gawin or sa try mong gawin. To the point na since yung value nga yung sinasabi nila, may tendency na ma-sway ka in a way. And ang akin, how I take it is definitely nakikinig din ako. Mga kaibigan ko, family, ganyan. Nakikinig ako. And I usually have my notebook with me or just a piece of paper or something that I could write on to. Minsan pag wala yung papel sa phone. So I write up yung mga nuggets of wisdom or information na pwede kong i-integrate dun sa vision or dun sa idea na ginagawa ko. That's how I take it eh. Pero not to the point na tipong totally babaguhin mo na yung gagawa. Integrate mo all the positives, you take it. What you consider positives dun sa mga sinabi, mga shinare na feedback, you take it. Tapos integrate mo. Nasa yun eh. Ako, sa akin, kumbaga yung personal call ko yun eh. Kung ano yung tingin ko, may point siya doon. Halimbawa, ay yung isang kaibigan natin may sinabi, may shinare. May point siya, good point yon. Sige, integrate ko yun. Write down ko yun, sulat ko yun. Then, I'll try to integrate that good point dun sa ginagawa ko. Pero not to the point na mababago na yung original vision, yung core, yung core na ginagawa. For example, yun nga, Beyond Alpha. Parang there were, in our case, nung bago tayo mag-launch, marami gusto, pinapabago nga yung name, pinapabago yung branding, yung color, yung logo. Ang daming gustong ipabago. Pero, lagi kong tinatanong sa sarili ko at the end of the day, sino ba yung may final call? Diba? Sige, yun nga. I'll take all the positives. I'll take all the inputs na pwede ko integrate that would add value dun sa ginagawa ko. Yung tingin kong totally mababago na tingin kong mga bagay na totally magpapabago na dun sa ginagawa ko. Yun. Hindi ko naman siya itatawon. Parang I segregate those things. So baka, di ba, possibly next time around, pag may hindi nag-work dun sa ginagawa ko ngayon, pwede kong pulutan ng ideas or aral yung mga yun. Ikaw ba, Chong? Paano ka mag-handle ng feedback and criticisms?
Sa akin, for me, to all the struggling entrepreneurs, lalo na yung mga nagsa-startup, I guess if you get into the startup business, you have to be thick-skinned, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you have to separate the business from yourself. So, why do I say thick-skinned? Their opinions or their comments on how you do your business, you should always remember that they're not talking about you. It's not about you. It's about the business. So if you're thick-skinned enough to accept that it's not a personal attack, probably if they're really your friends or if they're people who are close to you, they're giving you objective criticism or valid criticism. If you trust them enough to believe that they're giving you a valid criticism, you have to look at those things, their pointers on, is it really feasible? Mas maganda ba yung sinasabi niya? You gotta look at it objectively. Kasi, yun nga, when you start like feeling things, especially when people say you did something wrong or you should do it this way, this is a better way. If you start feeling emotions when you hear those type of things, you'll never get anywhere in the business world. That's what I guarantee. There'll always be there'll always be people that are better, smarter than you. If you can't take criticism, just advise you to just look for work or something, especially when you're in the startup world. Okay, so with that being said, how do I handle it? I look at it from a third person perspective. I always make sure that I don't feel that their criticism is directed towards me because it's not. The fact that I asked for your opinion means that I value it. Probably you're somebody close to me or somebody I look up to. So the moment I ask a feedback from you, it means uh, I want to know what you think. Okay, just to put it that way. So, um, like what Brian said, he takes notes. I do also, and but for me, if I hear something valid and there's no like apprehension from my end, I'll just try to apply it immediately. As for this podcast, we were just in a call a few minutes ago, and we were in a call with one of our friends. So she gave us a lot of pointers and tips that for me is crystal clear that it would be beneficial for everybody, especially this podcast, and we'll have to apply it immediately. Okay, so again, just my reminder for feedback. Feedback is the most important thing. It's the most important thing that you could ask from your audience or from your peers. But number one thing, not to not everybody can handle feedback and criticism. So if you're easily hurt, I suggest should grow up. Should grow up.
Mm-hmm.
You always have to put the business in front of your own feelings, right? So I'm pretty sure if you've been able to, or at least planning to do a startup, I'm pretty sure you have the mental capacity to identify if somebody's just bashing you or they're giving you constructive criticism, right? So if there's a like a slight hint of they're correct, you have to give that thought. Just don't dwell on it too much and don't make it stop you. That's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Always use this as building blocks and just make a quick chart of what you could apply immediately, what you want to apply immediately, or what are some points that you would think about. Like for example, if it's something drastic, it changes something drastic from the product that you're offering. Probably it needs more time to marinate. You gotta let it sit first. Okay, so it's not about you. My reminder to everybody. Just
Mm-hmm.
welcome everything. Ako sa akin ganun, Bray.
Actually, pre, ako agree ako dun sa sinabi mo about perspective. Na, yun nga, the point na you ask for feedback from these people or possibly there are times then na they just give you feedback parang ang tawag dun, I forgot the term pero basically they provided you feedback without you asking for it. Okay din yun. Parang you don't block anything muna, 'di ba? Parang kinig ka muna. 'Cause pag if you're within what you're doing, kasi ikaw, you have a different perspective eh. You're the one doing it eh. So in it. You're in it. So having someone who's not doing it, having that perspective, take that to your advantage eh. Kasi they have a different vantage point from you. So they might see something that you could improve on, that you could develop or adjust. So like what JP said nga, it's not a personal attack. So learn to distinguish din yun eh. Which I think we could tackle on a different topic then, how to distinguish a constructive criticism versus just bashing, purely bashing. So yun nga, going back to the topic, yung feedbacks and mga constructive criticisms na yan, try to get the value out of it. 'Di ba? Ano yung mga if hindi clear sa'yo and you have to learn how to be open about it eh. Kasi kung habang binibigyan ka ng feedback, defensive ka na kaagad. You might not get the value or the wisdom, the nugget of wisdom from what they're trying to tell you, which is very valuable kasi nga different point of view, different vantage point from you. So yun, take it as an opportunity to become better, to learn something new. So, and agree din ako sa sinabi ni JP about separation. You separate that feedback. They're giving a feedback with what you're trying to do compared to you as a person. So, hindi ikaw yung inaatake, 'di ba? So, itong mga valuable feedback na to from these people that you value, learn how to, yun nga, learn how to separate that feedback for what you're trying to do versus you as a person. And ang pinakamatindi dun sa sinabi ni JP is about never stop. If yung naging feedback sa'yo is they are telling you to change something or so to the point na drastic yung changes, yun nga, it's very clear dapat kung bakit ka nag-umpisa. So if that changes would still lead you to what you're trying to do, kumbaga you just need to pivot pero never stop, 'di ba? Incorporate those changes or those updates, or those upgrade iterations, whatever is best suited for your current situation. Yun, integrate those things, learn from those things, pero keep on going. Yun yung sa akin, pre. Any last words to wrap this up, Chok?
Sa akin, just two things. Sobrang importante ng feedback, especially yung constructive criticism. Number two, you gotta grow a thick skin.
Mm-hmm.
Importante yun. You gotta take the hits, take the criticism, take the laughter. Pero at times, may
Mm-hmm.
mga taong ganun eh. You gotta take all of that, pero you
Ah,
just gotta keep moving forward. That's it. Simple.
agree.
Lalo na sa mga
Simple.
magtatayo ng negosyo. Simple lang eh. Mahirap lang gawin, pero simple lang.
Mm, agree dun sa thick skin. Anything na gagawin mo pagbago ka diyan, 'di ba? Yun nga, people will laugh at you, people will just purely bash you, not even criticize you. Yun nga, you'll experience different kinds of things eh. Merong constructive criticism, merong purely bashing, meron wala, gusto ko lang i-down. Pero that's why napaka-importante nung sinabi ni JP na about developing a thick skin. And part of that development tingin ko is you have to be very clear talaga sa ginagawa, gusto mong gawin. So with that vision, with that focus, wala, kahit anong sabihin sa'yo, di tuloy ka lang. Kung ano mang ano, until magawa mo yon, ma-achieve mo yon, until anong kailangan mong alam mo, gawing adjustments or improvements, tuloy ka lang. Thick skin. So, napaka-importanting takeaway for this episode. Develop a thick skin when you're trying to do something and when you're getting feedback and criticisms. So, yan, for this topic. Good ka na, Chong?
Oo, okay na ako, bro.
Okay. So, yun. Thank you, everyone. We'll be integrating, we'll be having nag-offer, yung sinasabi ni JP kanina na friend namin, nag-offer to have a conversation again with us to yun nga, add value dun sa ginagawa namin ngayon. So, you'll see improvements, guys. Yan naman yung focus natin sa topic na to. Improvements, development, and yun, anything that would add value to us. Yun. So yun, thank you guys. If you're listening, share, stay safe, and enjoy. God bless.